Hello and welcome to a different kind of video. For those of you that clicked on this video worried that I was going to give up reselling or YouTube, please set aside your fears. That is not what this video is about. What I cannot do anymore is source. I have a massive problem. The problem is that the sourcing in my area is too good for me as a solo operator to keep up with. At the beginning of the year, I made two goals. One of them was to go to the bins every week, and at the bins I would be sourcing books, which again I've talked about on this channel that I'm trying to build up my book business in conjunction with my regular reselling business with the clothing and everything else. And I would also be sourcing clothing because that's the cheapest place to source. And the reason why I was doing that is because I was just going to do a whatnot, because my sourcing opportunity, my bins, it's $1.59 per pound if you're getting clothes. And if you buy 20 pounds of clothes, it's $1.29 per pound. And then the books, it's 25 cents for hardcovers and 25 cents for paperbacks and 50 cents for hardcovers. So my bins prices are amazing. I am very fortunate. And my hope was that, you know, I would sell maybe half of it in my weekly whatnot, and I would do my 3-part book strategy with books. If you don't know what I'm talking about with my 3-way book strategy about how I resell books, I will link that video up above. The problem is the books. When I originally made my goals, when I would go to the bins, there would only be 3 bins of books. So, you know, I'd have like maybe 20 or 40 books. After about a month of going to the bins, I would have enough to do a whatnot auction and only have a few that I would list on eBay, and all the rest of them would go to Second and Charles, which again, this is a spoiler alert for that video I was talking about. And then the rest of the time I would spend doing clothing. The problem is that books have returned in a very amazing way at the bins. There has been multiple times over the last 4 months where I have left the bins with over 100 books. That's amazing. The problem is that my other major goal that I wanted to do was to clean up my house. I wanted to demolish my death pile, and to do that I was going to aggressively list every day. If I'm bringing home between 100 and 200 items a week, and I'm only listing 100 and some change items a week, that math's not mathing. If I bring home 200 items in a week and I'm only listing like 105 to 140 items, that still means I brought home more items than I listed. Not to mention sold, but that's an entirely different problem that I don't really have control over if I'm sourcing from the bins. So that's what needs to stop. I cannot source right now. I cannot source weekly anymore. Those of you that have been looking at my whatnot and were avid viewers on my weekly whatnots, thank you so much. I just can't do it anymore. You guys have seen me canceling the whatnots or moving my last whatnot further and further back. I just can't do it every week anymore, and it's just because of the fact that, and the reason why the sourcing has been so good is because I went from 3, maybe half to 3/4 full books, I'm having a stroke. Bins of books. There we go. Bins of books to 7 to 8. And I go through every one, and there's been more than one occasion where I have come out of the bins with 2 full shopping carts full of books, and I'm so exhausted. I get there at 9 and I would leave at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't even looked at the clothing. I'm exhausted at that point because I'm looking at every single book. Some of you would be like, just skim, but I found so many amazing books not skimming. In addition, that's just me going to the bins to source. That's not even me going to actual retail locations and sourcing, which is also, when you guys have seen those videos, I've only been pulling out the cream of the crop, not even the stuff I would normally pick up, only the upper echelons of stuff. I just have too much stuff. I'm not even going to show you my house anymore because I open my door and it literally looks like an episode of Hoarders. the whole point, what my major goal was to destroy my death pile, because I ultimately want to sell my house. I want to sell my house, move my business into like a storage unit, and like me and my partner like look really hard for a house where we can cohabitate. The boy and I cannot cohabitate in either of the places we live because they're too small for both us, our pets, and my business. So that is the goal. Also, like, my house price like has doubled in the last like since I bought my house. The amount I could sell this house for has over doubled from what I originally paid for it. So that's also part of it, which is a great problem to have. But that also means like us trying to find a house has been a nightmare, and we've been looking, and we've looked at 3 houses in 3 years. So that tells you how awesome the housing market here is in Virginia with what we're looking for in a home. I can't do any of that if my house is filling up with more stuff. Like, I still have every single item that I picked up at FlipCon last year. It's come on a year now. It's almost a year since I went to FlipCon, which was an amazing experience. And I'm so sad that Josh, well, not sad because, you know, it's a lot of work. I know what it's like to hold a convention. So I know how much work it is and how much a relief it is not to be doing that anymore. But I still have everything I thrifted at FlipCon that I have not listed. It's still on the floor in my living room in the original bags with all the receipts, because I wanted to do a video. Well, first of all, I had filmed all of that footage, and then my computer did a factory reset on itself and I lost all of it. So it's just been sitting there because I'm like, I don't know, like, because I lost all the footage, I was like, okay, do I just film a haul, or do I do like the thing where I like get it all listed and then like on the 1-year anniversary of FlipCon talk about, you know, I paid for my FlipCon trip a year ago. I don't know, but it's all just sitting there because I haven't listed any of it. And I haven't listed any of it because I haven't been able to get to it because I have so much stuff. I still have 100 pieces of that vintage haul I got 2 or 3 years ago. I have like banker's boxes full of books. I have too much stuff, and it needs to get listed, and it needs to get out of this house. And I physically, as a disabled person, cannot list like at the rate that I can source. I know you all understand this. And the problem is not that I don't like listing. The problem is I physically can't do it at the rate I can source. If I can go into a thrift store, or if I can go to the bins and pull out 200 to 300 items, for some people, like, that's what they sell in a week. That's great, but also those people have employees. I don't. It's just me. It's just me. So this is my plan. This is my new plan, okay? I am not going to be sourcing at all anymore. I haven't decided which of the two it's going to be. It's either I have put up 500 listings or I have listed 500 items. And you might be very confused as to why that is different. So I sell a lot of books, and I do book lots, and I also have dishes that I have to list, and it's a dish set, and I've talked about how I'll do one listing, but it's a multi-variation listing. So that one listing could actually have like 55 items in it. So I guess maybe this is where I could get y'all's feedback, is like, which one do you think I should do? Do you think I should do 500 listings at first and see like if I start off making a big if that helps, or like 500 items get listed? And then I'll be able to do like one thrifting trip, and I'll decide based on how I feel if I want to do like an actual like retail location, or if I'm going to be good, or if I'm going to go to the bins. For those of you that follow me on Whatnot, I'm so sorry. I have one Whatnot scheduled, and it's specifically a show selling little golden books, like the little kids golden books, like vintage ones, because I got a big lot of them the last time I went to the bins. I wanted to test it out. Like, normally I sell genre fiction on Whatnot for books, and I've been very successful doing that, selling like vintage horror, fantasy, and science fiction. But that's mostly because I also have a book channel where I review books and do book hauls there for that. But I wanted to see what else I could sell. I talked to Larissa when she said hello to me one of the times I was at the bins. So Larissa, if you're watching this video, thank you. that she had success and whatnot selling little golden books. I was like, you know what? I find a bunch of them all the time. Let me try it. And then, you know, I already sell them on eBay pretty consistently. So let's see if I just do a specific show and see how it goes. And if not, I'll just list them all on eBay. It's no big deal. But that's what I can't do anymore. I can't source. I cannot source until I either list 500 listings or 500 items. Again, you tell me below which of the two you think I should do. Because, you know, FOMO is a real big thing. Like, because the sourcing has been so good, I'm like, I've been talking myself into still going. Like, oh, well, I can just go and see what's there. Maybe it won't be good this time. And then I'm still pulling like 100 books out. And then also being too tired to look at the clothing, which has also been part of the problem too. So I don't know. I do know that I need to stop sourcing and get my listings in and get all this stuff out of my house. So that's what I can't do anymore. I can't source. I will source because I think I'll die inside if I don't. That sounds so dramatic. But what that would mean, basically, either 500 listings or 500 items, it still means that I would only source once a month. And I would be able to make that content for you guys. What I'm doing instead, because I'm not doing sourcing content, which I'm sure you guys have also noticed has not been a whole lot out here since I stopped doing my whatnots. I haven't been going to the bins and do my whatnots. I'm going to show you guys as an accountability piece listing, doing 20 listings, and then also telling you how many items I listed, and like doing it at like 7 days at a time. So that way you guys can see like I'm actually doing the thing that I'm saying. So hopefully you guys will find that interesting. I'm gonna pull the 20 items from my death pile and then show them to you and talk about why I picked it up and how much I think I can sell it for. And hopefully that'll be interesting. So that way, even though I'm not sourcing, I'm basically sourcing from my own house at that point. And talk about why I bought something, how long ago I bought it, and also like why I bought it and how valuable it is. And hope that that's good for you guys. But that's this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all understand. Hopefully by the end of this year, I will no longer be drowning in stuff, and I can resume regular content again. And then maybe if I can get this down to where I have a reasonable money pile, where it's like one Z-Rack and maybe one banker's box, I can maybe like limit myself to only sourcing a certain amount of items. I don't know. We'll see. I am such a work in progress. My house is a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. My business is a work in progress. Can you tell I'm a little stressed? Can you tell I'm so stressed? And that's also part of this as well, is like I walk into my house and it looks like an episode of Hoarders and I am instantly anxious, and I hate that. Like, I'm listing more at the boys' house, where I'm literally taking a box with me to the boys' house, listing it and taking it back, because like it's so hard to focus and even think in this house right now. I will show you eventually. I will show you eventually when it gets a little bit better, but right now it's too much. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which will be a what sold video. I'm still gonna do my what sold videos, and then I will hopefully show you the first week of this process. Bye. Bye. Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero. Oh, the hero comes, I can hear the drums and a horse is driving.